Alright, well, this is Culture in Christ, number 3. In this episode, I want to talk about one of the biggest, most influential things on this planet, and one of the greatest gifts God's ever given us, and that is music. Music is huge. I mean, it pretty much shapes cultures around the world, and not only that, it's one of the biggest things that brings us together and kind of molds our cultures. I know music's one of the first things that are talked about when you meet somebody, and one of the things that you group your friends with. And I know music has a huge influence on people's everyday lives and inspirations and dreams. So I want to talk about the influence that music has, and if a certain genre is wrong or right, or anything like that. Now, in the Bible, of course, being written 2,000 plus years ago, they didn't know about bands like Metallica or AC/DC or anything like that, so naturally it was kind of hard to explicitly write out, do not listen to such and such band, they're bad. So, with that being said, it might not be a certain genre that we shouldn't listen to or anything like that, but we gotta really think about the effects of that type of music. I want to read from the Bible a little bit. This is 1 Corinthians 8:10 through 13. It says here, "For instance, say you flaunt your freedom by going to a banquet thrown in honor of idols, where the main course is meat sacrificed to idols. Isn't there a great danger of someone still struggling over this issue? Someone who looks up to you as knowledgeable and mature sees you go into that banquet. The danger is that he will become terribly confused, maybe even up to the point of getting mixed up himself in what his conscience tells him is wrong. Christ gave up his life for that person. Wouldn't you at least be willing to give up going to dinner for him because, as you say, it doesn't really make any difference? But it does make a difference. If you hurt your friend terribly, risking his eternal ruin, when you hurt your friend, you hurt Christ. A free meal here and there isn't worth it at the cost of even one of those weak ones. So never go to these idol-tainted meals if there's any chance it will trip up one of your brothers or sisters." Now, that came from the Message, one of my favorite translations of the Bible. Kind of loose, but helps me understand a lot. The biggest message that should come from that is, am I causing my brother or sister, slash friend, to stumble? So, for instance, if we're trying to witness to somebody, if we're trying to kind of convey a certain message to somebody or a group, we got to consciously think about, what are we listening to, and is it, reinforcing our lifestyle? I mean, if we're going around flaunting bands on our shirts and blaring vulgar, music that isn't necessarily conveying the right message, then are we helping ourselves? Are we, conveying the right meaning to somebody? Probably not. So we really got to think about the audience that we're in, and if it's okay. I mean, granted, I know we're going to have secular artists that we love. I mean, I do, so I can't really tell you, don't listen to your secular artists anymore. Don't listen to your favorite non-Christian artists anymore. Anything like that. I know I can't do that. But, what I can do is advise you to put those bands on hold, put that, rapper such and such on hold, and, really get into a different sound, with cleaner, better message lyrics, Christian music. I know, granted, that instrumental music doesn't have lyrics, so nothing can really be said to affect anybody the wrong way, so naturally that's okay. But, most of the music that most of us listen to includes some form of lyrics. So, the question is, what do I listen to if I don't listen to secular music? I mean, what's out there that sounds remotely like anything that I like? I mean, and I know in my case specifically, growing up, my world was secular music. That's all I knew. And even for the longest time as a Christian, I never really gave Christian music a chance because I didn't think it would measure up to be anywhere as good as the secular music that I loved. But, over time, going to these concerts, really giving a lot of these Christian artists a chance, kind of stumbling upon some of them on Pandora and apps like that, I really kind of opened up my library of music to these Christian artists and found that a lot of them are really good, if not better than some of the secular artists that I love. So I'll kind of give a brief rundown of a few genres and kind of give you an idea of some of the artists that you can look into. You can find them on iTunes, Google them and find some of their music, YouTube, and things like that. So let me start with some of the sort of mainstream rock kind of music. If you're looking for that mainstream rock sort of sound, I would definitely look into bands like Switchfoot, Relient K, 10th Avenue North, Newsboys, Hawk Nelson, bands like that. It sound really similar to some of your favorite secular artists like Weezer, Radiohead, um, Hoobastank, or bands like that with the softer sound, kind of mainstreamy poppy sound. I definitely looked into those bands. All of those bands are really, really good. Say you like a little bit of a heavier sound, but not too insanely heavy, I definitely look into bands like We As Human, Red, one of the biggest Christian bands, Skillet. I mean, bands like that are going to sound like some of your favorite artists like Mudvayne, Stained, Slipknot, stuff like that. Some of the little bit heavier artists that you might love. Say you're looking for the really, really heavy sound that I know is super popular today. Then I would definitely look into bands like Bless the Fall, Devil Driver, Under Oath. All those bands are going to sound really similar to some of the biggest, hardcore bands out there today, like Motionless in White or A Day to Remember, Drugs, We Came as Romans, bands like that that are really super popular today. There are Christian bands out there that sound just as good, if not better, and carry that same heavy sound with cleaner, much cleaner, better lyrics. So, say you're looking for rap. I know rap's a huge, huge, huge part of me. Growing up, that's what really influenced me. I was influenced by Twista, Tupac, Busta Rhymes, artists like that, Eminem, that really kind of gave me the sound that I was looking for and the lyrics that I was looking for that really affected my life. But even growing up, I didn't give Christian rap a whole lot of a chance because I didn't think that they could compare. I didn't think it would sound as good in my headphones or sound as good in a system in a car or anything like that. Or the lyrics wouldn't be as catchy as some of the wordplay that's come up with today. But in all honesty, over a long period of time, I really gave a lot of these artists a chance and found out that their lyrics aren't oversaturated with God this, Jesus that. I mean, granted, some of it is, and that's awesome. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that, but sometimes I'm in the mood for maybe a cleaner sound that just sounds really catchy and really good. So a lot of artists that I definitely recommend looking into: The Truth, Tedashii, Thistle, KJ52, Manifest. I know a huge one is Lecrae. If you like groups, 116 Click. All of those artists sound, similar to some of the most popular rappers today. Wiz Khalifa, Lil Wayne, Drake, Eminem, Mac Miller, stuff like that. So I definitely recommend checking those out because I know rap music is, notorious for the lyrics and message that completely give people the wrong idea. I mean, rap music today is just so oversaturated with sex, drugs, and violence, hustling and stuff like that. I know it's super, super huge and super popular, but really give this Christian music a chance. Honestly, you find one artist you like, Pandora them, look up the similar artists on iTunes, and you'll definitely find artists that sound just as good, and you can expand your library to huge volumes. Say even, for instance, you love female-led bands like I do. Huge into female-led bands. Great artists include, Flyleaf, Fireflight. Artists like that sound really, really good and are really, really catchy. They're similar to people like, bands like Paramore, Tonight Alive, No Doubt. Female-led bands like that. So there's such a wide variety out there that you can really get into: techno, country, there's contemporary gospel music. There's R&B artists out there with the really soft, soulful voices that you can really look into that I really recommend because their message is awesome, and at the same time that sound that you love, that you might have grown up with, is still there, and you can still find some catchiness to it. But you know, the greatest part about it is that this is the type of music that you can really kind of introduce somebody who's maybe never been into that type of music before. I mean, say you got friends that, listen to hardcore or listen to a lot of rap or stuff like that. There's Christian artists out there that sound just as good, that would be great witnessing tools. That would be great, even if you're not trying to witness, but you're just trying to get somebody to expand their library to cleaner music. I mean, music like that is really going to convey a better and more positive meaning. So, in the end, and my advice, consciously think about the type of music you're listening to and the artists, and the audience that you're going to affect. Really, really think about that and what type of meaning that they're conveying. And if you're trying to convey a Christian, lifestyle, or convey a more positive, cleaner image, then, you really want to try to get more and more Christian, maybe not even Christian, but cleaner music into your repertoire, into your library to listen to, and maybe hold off on the secular, heavier stuff to yourself. So, in the end, I'm not going to tell you to give up your favorite secular artists. Don't give up the artists that you grew up listening to, because, even I haven't. But I definitely say mix a little bit of Christian in there, here and there, and just open up your library and really listen consciously to the lyrics and let them influence you, and, let them motivate you and anybody that you might be around. So, until next time, world, comment, let me know what you think, and I hope I'm, giving the right message. So I encourage you, check out these Christian artists, give them a chance. Until next time, it's been Culture in Christ.